Hi all out there, this is Guitar God 645 back with another unscripted movie review. Now, I apologise for the huge delay, first of all, with these movie reviews, but at the end of the day there is no set schedule for these reviews. This is something I just do when I have the time to do them. And so far this year I have been very busy booking up the A Kind of Mercury tour, and I have 3 shows coming up from that already, so I apologise for not being able to do any movie reviews for a while. Okay, this review is the big one. One of the worst movies of all time, next to Batman and Robin. This is a specially requested review from one person, one of my best friends who lives out in Arizona, Kevin Meeker. This is Flash Gordon. We are talking about a movie that is so bad that a lot of censors still try and pull it to this day from their schedules. But this might sound shocking that I really cannot stand this movie, being a Queen fan, but I love the soundtrack. The soundtrack is really good in the movie and the way it's used, but it's the film itself that really drags it down. And some of the acting in it is just goddamn terrible. I was going to go into the plot and everything, but to be honest with this movie, there is what they like to call a plot, but there isn't none. There is no plot whatsoever in this movie. You have people like Sam J. Jones, who plays Flash Gordon, and you even have an appearance from Timothy Dalton, and then of course you have Brian Blessed, God, no pun intended, but God bless him, who tries to make his character believable and tries to make this film believable even. But you just look at it now, and the effects are so obviously cheap. The story is not that strong at all, and it gets that point where they're trying to be cheesy and slightly, tongue-in-cheek, but it gets to that point where you're like, is this still meant to be tongue-in-cheek, or are they taking themselves serious, kind of thing? And half the stuff that happens in this movie is just terrible, and the reason being is, I think it's because of the time it was made, which was 1980. Not a lot of technology had been advanced, and I think what the big plan was to make this big British camp rivalry to Star Wars, and over here it seemed to pay off. It did have a pretty successful box office run, but everywhere the movie flopped. No one saw it, apparently. And I remember as a kid I did enjoy it, but then I watched it a couple of months back thinking, why did I enjoy this movie? But that's my opinion. And like I was saying, it is really just a terrible movie. If you haven't seen it, good on you. If you have seen it and you enjoyed it yourself, brilliant. I'm not one of these people who's going to say you must not enjoy this film because it is so bad, kind of thing. And if you really want to check it out, then if you're curious, feel free, but I can probably guarantee you'll just turn around to yourself and say, I just wasted an hour and a half of my life. And the one performance that I find really wooden, and having Asperger's, I can't normally pick up on a lot of this, but when it gives it off in volumes, it's really bad. And that's Max von Sydow as Ming the Merciless. You know, he's the typical villain. That's the best way to put it. You know, he's like, oh, you must all bow down to me and no one can overthrow me. But to be honest, you just don't feel that scared by him. You feel even more scared by the person who plays General Clytus, who's in this big metal suit. And you think to yourself, wow, this guy can do some serious damage. But as soon as you see Ming in that first opening shot, you just think to yourself, don't laugh. Don't laugh. But unfortunately there has been a few times where I've about peed myself laughing at him. But, you know, that's my opinion on it, and, you know, I managed to prevent myself from killing myself while doing this review. But the next one I'm going to do is a classic movie. And this next one I'm doing, I will go into full detail about it all. You know, the plot, the cast, the direction, the whole thing. And it is the classic Mrs Doubtfire. One of my favourite movies of all time. Okay, I'm going to leave it there because I don't want to ramble on too much. But hope to see you all again soon for another unscripted movie review if I'm not too busy. And take care of yourselves. Be good.